Welcome to TFAW Letters, the Filipino American History Month edition by the Filipino American Women Project. I'm your host, Jen Amos. Just like our summer series, I will read fictionalized letters, my creative interpretation of real conversations with you. These letters have been woven with heart, reflection, and truth to honor your stories while protecting your privacy. It all begins with one line. If I could say one thing, because sometimes one thing is all we need to take up a little more space. Let's get started. Dear listeners, if I could say one thing, it's this. Don't let your search for lost history make you miss out on the living history that's already in front of you. All right, everyone, welcome to Filipino American History Month. Normally, as of this summer, you would hear a more polished letter, but I figured I'd open up Filipino American History Month a little more candidly to give you a sneak peek into how I speak to the first readers of our show. Now, if you're wondering, what are first readers? First readers are those who are really invested in the show, the TFAW project, and in showing their financial support, they get access to our private podcast called First Readers. And in First Readers, I typically do a cold read of the letters, and I give commentary about them like this. So for the start of Filipino American History Month, here is a taste of a cold read and my commentary, and really just hearing from me. If you are a new follower of the show as of summer, this might sound a little off-putting to you because of how I normally sound in these episodes. So, hi, this is how I normally sound on a day-to-day, a little more casual. And like I said, you would get more of this should you be interested in being a financial partner of our show by becoming a first reader and thus getting access to our private podcast, First Readers. Additionally, I have to tell you that I have rewritten this letter several times, and I was having a hard time with it until I realized that this opening letter isn't meant to be a letter. It's meant to be a speech. So here it is. This is my speech, y'all. As candid as it can be. But yes, welcome to Filipino American History Month, if I haven't said that already. And by the way, I am reading a letter, but like I do for my first readers, I will be weaving in and out of the text, and I may be going off a lot. Although for the listener, you probably cannot tell the difference anyway, because you don't see the letter I'm reading to you guys. But I'll be going back and forth on whatever in and adding my commentary as I go. So usually around this time of the year, October, I tend to notice that many of our listeners and new listeners feel the spark of renewed interest in exploring one's Filipino identity. It could be a renewed spark of interest or a new spark of interest. This could be your first time wanting to explore your Filipino identity, your Filipino heritage, Filipino culture, history, et cetera, et cetera. And so naturally, what tends to happen is we tend to seek it out maybe by starting from the home, going through old photo albums. This could also be speaking to our parents, our friends, our family friends, just to collect that oral history. While for some of us, don't come from a family of storytellers, orators, and so we try to seek out history in other ways, whether it's in school, whether it's peer-to-peer, nonprofit, or online, which is how a lot of our listeners tend to find us. They've sought for something and they put in the words Filipino American woman, and then our show comes up. And so it's a beautiful time of the year to welcome those who've been following our show for years, as well as the first-time listener. Welcome. To seek out information and knowledge and resources that validate and confirm our identity, our existence here in America. On the flip side, what I have also observed is almost like a romanticized view of searching for our history as though it's like searching for lost treasure. And I've often observed this longing to result in sadness, bitterness, anger, that our history is not accessible. It's not convenient. It's not within reach. That, like I said, it almost feels impossible to find it because it feels like lost treasure. And what I want to say to the listeners who feel lost because they don't even know where to begin in understanding their history or their culture, what I want to say to you directly is that sometimes that longing can look too far. It can cause us to overlook the storytellers who are already amongst us, the historians, the scholars, the documentarians, the content creators. And so what I'm trying to say here is that sometimes I feel like people are longing for something that's so out of reach that, one, they don't necessarily recognize what's already in front of them. And it's almost like a badge of honor to feel lost. And it gets me to wonder, is the longing for lost history more important than involvement? Now, from my perspective, as someone who has run the show for almost a decade now, I don't feel lost. If I need to learn about my Filipino culture and my identity, I know where to go. I know who to speak with. Basically, I have collected an arsenal of resources and connections and information to never question how I can get involved in the community. So part of why I'm saying this is it makes me think about those who are feeling lost. And it makes me wonder if feeling lost is more important, can be more important, or take precedence over seeking, finding, searching, connecting, especially to those who are actively documenting our history and culture. Sometimes it's easier to act helpless than it is to act. And if this moves you in any way, then I hope that you take a minute to reflect why. Why is what I'm saying right now moving you? Because if you can just see what I see, maybe I can extend my conviction as a Filipino American woman. I can impress how I feel about myself onto you. Let me tell you a quick story to explain what I'm trying to explain. I don't know about you, but it was common practice for my family to have dinner every single night growing up. It was very common. It was expected, if not assumed. It was assumed, and you were going to show up. You were going to be there for dinner every night, no matter what you were doing. But of course, as time goes on, obviously that becomes impossible because of school or sports or work or life, that you're not always going to make it to the dinner table on time. And after a while, it may seem as though you're coming home late and dinner has already been served. Yet, you come home late and there's still food for you. There's leftovers waiting for you. And for some of us, that's normal. For some of us, it's so normal to skip dinner knowing that the leftovers are going to be available in the fridge, or maybe they're still left out in the dinner table. And by the time you come home late, it's your responsibility to clean everything up and put everything away. I don't know about you, but my mom always had this habit of always leaving the food out until it was room temperature, and then she would put it in the fridge. And I always found that interesting that she did that rather than just putting the hot food away as soon as we were done. But, maybe it was a way to maintain the quality of the food by having it room temperature before putting it in the fridge. Anyway, it was a habit that I kept myself as well, to let things cool down before packing it up and putting it in the fridge. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that for some families, it's become customary to come late to dinner that there are leftovers. But I want to pause right there with the leftovers. And I want you to really think about this. How amazing is it that your loved ones leave you leftovers? How amazing is it that they anticipate your needs ahead of time? Even if you're not there, you're still there in spirit so much that they leave leftovers so that you can still be part of the family dinner. How special is that you have loved ones that keep the food out for you, knowing eventually you're going to come home, knowing you're going to come home hungry. Despite their preference for you to have dinner with them, they still leave food out for you. How special is that we have people who love us that much? We don't even ask them to do that. They just do it for us. Our loved ones just do that for us. And so my question to you, the listener, is, who leaves out leftovers for you that you've taken for granted? And on a similar note, who has taken care of us without us even asking? And by extension, who is leaving out leftovers for you so that you can understand Filipino culture, Filipino history, your Filipino identity? Who are these people that are doing the work? Who are these people that are within your area of influence that you've always seen, that you've always recognized, and yet maybe you never thanked them? Maybe you never showed your appreciation to them. I can't help but wonder how many brilliant people in our Filipino community, the movers and shakers of our Filipino community, that are being overlooked, that are maybe being underappreciated, that we become so used to, so familiar to, that we don't think to thank them. And so for this month, my challenge for you is to reflect on these people and to not just have them as a default setting that you're used to hearing or watching or listening to, but to make yourself known to them. This can be getting more involved in a local Filipino organization. This can be buying a book from a Filipino author. This could be supporting your favorite content creators. The point is, these people are making the family dinner for you every night. And even when you're not there, even when you come late, they leave out leftovers for you. Who are these people in your life? And whoever they are, I encourage you to make yourself visible to them. Make them know that you see them. Make them know that you appreciate what they're doing, whatever that looks like for you. Has there been someone that has been inviting you all along to get more involved, to attend an event, to join an organization? Consider this letter a call of action for you to finally accept the invitation to get involved, to recognize that just watching them, observing them, or listening to them is not enough. Whatever you do this month, whether it's saying thank you to the movers and shakers of this community, to showing up to the events that you've been invited to for some time now but have never shown up, it could be investing. If you want more representation in our community, put your money where your mouth is and support those creating space for you, for us. Who is within reach today? Is it a family member, a family friend, a friend, your favorite content creator? Is it this podcast? I know, I had to do a shameless plug. And to be clear, this isn't just an invitation to boost our egos by any means. And let me try to explain with this. I've been told that history is simply a collection of stories, and in this case, our stories. For nearly a decade, this show has been documenting our stories, our personal narratives, our lived experiences. And many of these stories are more intertwined than we realize. There's a phrase that I've learned from our community, and it's the word kapwa, which, to my understanding, is a deeply rooted core value that refers to our shared sense of identity, humanity, and an interconnectedness with one another. A shared inner self, if you will. At the heart of kapwa, I've been told the phrase, I am because we are. So I've learned to understand that rather than seeing people as separate individuals, we recognize us as a collective self and that we are fundamentally linked through shared experiences, emotions, and stories. Now, the reason why I share this spirit of kapwa, is that in making yourself visible to the movers and shakers of our Filipino community that is within reach to you specifically, not some far off influencer that will never know your name, but someone close to you, someone that you can text message, someone that you can call, that maybe you've been watching them, knowing about what they do without getting involved. I share this to encourage you to practice kapwa this month by not just listening, not just observing, not just watching, but getting involved. Because in getting involved, whatever that looks like for you, you make people like me feel seen. I feel like I have a shared inner self with you. Believe it or not, I know that you're probably used to my voice by now, but to be candid, the day-to-day grind of this show can often make me feel unseen. Together, with you making yourself obviously visible to people like me, you make history, our history, more accessible for each other and for generations to come. You remind me why I do what I do. You remind us why we do what we do. And so to our listeners, if I could say one thing, it's this. If history is simply a collection of stories, then in the spirit of kapwa, it's time to share yours to the movers and shakers of our Filipino community today. Love, Jen. If you could reflect on one thing, it's this. How are you contributing to Filipino American history today? Want to respond? You can reply today at tfaletters.com. That's TFAW as in the Filipino American woman, letters as in plural.com, tfaletters.com. Or better yet, write your own letter. Submissions are now open. You can include your name or stay completely anonymous. So, if you could say one thing, what would it be? Subscribe for free today at tfaletters.com and follow the steps in the welcome email to submit your letter. I hope to read yours in the upcoming season. P.S. If I could say one more thing, it's this. Let's uncover Filipino American history together. For the month of October, you can upgrade to TFAW PenPals to participate in our 30-day challenge to collect and share resources with our online community. Simply check out the latest email from TFAW Letters to upgrade now or subscribe today at tfaletters.com. Happy Filipino American History Month, and we'll see you on the inside.